What's going on, Falcon fan? This your boy Ricondo. Come back at you with another video. So today we're gonna talk about Mr. Jalen Mayfield and expectations we should have for him going into year two for these Atlanta Falcons. So guys, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to that channel. Please hit notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys like to hear what I talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So, like I said, guys, we're not gonna really go back over the first season for Jalen Mayfield. I think we talked about that a lot already. We know the kind of year it was for him. Just a quick recap, though. This guy actually came in as a right tackle um, from Michigan. He started out in training camp at right tackle, actually, because Caleb McGarry was out, so he played a lot at right tackle during that time. The expectation was so they was going to move him slowly in to left guard behind Josh Andrews. That was the plan for Jalen Mayfield. It was somebody that they was going to actually work with, try to develop him a little bit longer. He was not expected to come in right away and actually be that starting left guard for us. However, Josh Andrews ended up hurting his hand before the season started, and before we know it, Jalen Mayfield was playing Week 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles, and you guys know the rest of the story from that. Um, he had a very, really, really up and down season, more downs than up, of course, for him. He actually led the league in sacks with 11. He had 9 penalties as a left guard, one of the worst in the NFL. So some things like that, you can only think that he can actually only go up from that standpoint, right? Um, Unless he's just that bad. This is a big guy, athletic guy. I don't think he as bad as his first season kind of laid out for him. However, it's just strange. We all anticipated the Falcons actually bringing in some veteran competition for Jalen Mayfield. However, to this point, that has not been the case. Right now, his competition are players. They did bring in Elijah Wilkinson, who could definitely play that role. Have not played left guard a lot in his NFL career. I think he'd be more competition for Caleb McGarry, but Elijah Wilkins could be somebody they could consider playing at that spot. Kobe Gossick, we already talked about him. Coach Justin Schaefer, another rookie left guard. I don't think he would actually push Jalen Mayfield to the point where he could take over their spot. And then Ryan Newsel is the other guy that could potentially be somebody that they might want to bring in to actually compete with Jalen Mayfield as well. I think the biggest an important thing that we need to understand is the competition piece, right? Of course, we know. I mean, everybody knows that being a third round pick for this regime, this coaching staff, they don't want to be wrong, right? So they want to give him every opportunity to prove himself. But I think it's important for him to actually have some kind of competition there to make sure that he know he's just not going to be given that job, right? Because he's the only guy on the roster that can actually fill that spot. So the competition is important. So I do expect him to actually be in competition. Um, this season with those guys I just mentioned, unless they decide to bring in somebody else to actually um, somebody who's solid there. We talked about some of those guys. We talked about Flowers. We talked about the guard out of Cincinnati as well. Any of those guys could come in and definitely be because they got that experience playing at that position. Could definitely be somebody can come in and push Jalen Mayfield. However, my opinion is I think he's definitely is going to end up being the starting left guard right now, based off where the roster, who's on the roster right now. The question is, and we always got to think about this, and this is a big deal in NFL for a lot of young rookies. That jump from year one to year two is very big because you got to think they're not going through draft workouts, pre workouts, running 40s, the bench press, all those good things. They actually had a real off season. They understand the NFL. They know what it takes to actually be a pro, so they can come in and they actually going to be more prepared. They got what the coaches wanted them to work on from the off season to now. They went through a whole nother OTAs and mini camps. They went through the second year of the NFL playbook for those guys. Like I said, they understand how they're supposed to eat. All these good things that you learn from your rookie year and going into your second year, right? So we expect Jalen Mayfield to actually be better than he was last year. All right. So, like I said, he has the talent. If you look at some of the scouting from last year, a lot of guys had him um, a late first round pick going into the second round. He fell to the third round. So looking at the projections, a lot of scouts had him. He actually it was a pretty good pick for the Atlanta Falcons at the time. I know we all was enamored by his physicality that he showed, and he showed that as well last year in some of the run blocking that he displayed. But his biggest thing is pass protection, and moving from right tackle to left guard is not as easy as someone may think. So just getting in there, learning how to set his pass rush off from the left side when he had been doing it from the right side. All those years is definitely going to benefit him for that experience that he got last year. He had 989 plays, so he had a lot of reps last year. So the one thing we got to think about his potential, like I said, he is a physical guy, and I think that's what we want. You go back to the days where we had like someone like a Harvey Dahl, um, nasty offensive lineman. That's what everybody was thinking about when we first started Jalen Mayfield. You gotta go back to the tape. He actually pushed the guy out of bounds on one of his blocks. That's the kind of physical you want. You want to finish the play until the whistle blows. So I think Jalen Mayfield actually had this potential. Being beside a veteran like Jake Matthews should help him as well. Like I said, moving to his second year. So my expectations for Jalen Mayfield. First of all, I do think he's going to win the left guard position, unless they bring in some veteran guard to actually, to move him off that spot. I think he's going to be the left guard moving forward. It's going to be interesting because we got to see if he improved any. Like I said, I do think he will. A whole off season, you got to learn his. You got to go look at the tape, look at the film, and see what he was doing wrong. Was he letting guys get up on his pads? Was he dropping back on his sets too fast? Or whatever the case may be, we got to see improvement there. We got to also remember that we do have another guy up on the center, somebody who's a little bit more mobile than going to be stationary like Matty Ice was. So things like that we all can consider to look at reasons why Jalen Mayfield could definitely be a better player going into year two. So my expectations for him is to improve. Like I said, these rookies going into their second year that we had, they gonna make a big they gonna have to make a big impression for this team to actually play well this year. All right, and also like I said, no regime wants their picks um, to like be wrong. So they're gonna give this guy every opportunity to be successful. At the end of the day, if you can't play, you can't play. But I don't think that's the case for Jalen Mayfield. Like I said, you just factor in some of those things we talked about at the beginning. Um, Not having time to actually develop at left guard, getting put right into the mix. Um, I love the way Arthur Smith labeled it after the first game. He got baptized right from the beginning, going up against somebody like a Fletcher Cox, then coming right back and going up against somebody like a Dominican Sue and Vita Vea. So right from back to back, you was already in it. This year is not going to be an easier going right against the Saints. Then next game going against somebody like a Aaron Donald, right? So it's going to be important for Jalen Mayfield to show what he learned during the offseason, show what he's been working on, and prove all the naysayers wrong. including myself, right? Because um, I thought he was a rookie, understandable, but he didn't play well in a lot of spots that we needed him to. So, if anything, I hope Jalen Mayfield can actually be a whole lot better this year. You guys let me know what you think about Jalen Mayfield and if he's actually going to be able to improve from year one to year two. I think he will, but we have to see and start a training camp, which is, guys, I'm excited. A couple days away, right? About a week and a half. And this is your boy Ricondo come back at you with another video. Peace.